Hey guys, thank you for checking out our video. My name's Sean Elders and this is Pinnacle Combat Arts. Like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the bell so you can be notified every time we get a new video. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit about Jun Fan and PIA, Progressive Indirect Attack. Let's get started. Okay, so when we're talking about Progressive Indirect Attack, we want to start with bridging the gap, okay? One of the things that Bruce Lee found when he was having trouble or when he was training in the martial arts was that some of the arts that he studied, there was no way to enter, okay? Basically what he would do is he would get in fights, observe fights, and write down notes and take notes on different things, just like I did as a kid. I was heavily influenced by Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee's writings. And when I was a kid, I would get in fights ever since I was like 7 years old, and I would write down the altercations and what worked and what didn't work. I also watched friends get into different fights, and sometimes we would even fight each other outside of the school in my neighborhood, and we would just glove up and go at it. And what I did was I documented everything that I saw and all the things that I observed and all the things that I experienced from the time I was 7 years old. And so my experience and I started to understand things in a different way, and I started to understand why Bruce Lee created 5 ways to attack and all the different aspects of that. And so what I'm going to teach you guys today is how do I take, for instance, progressive indirect attack, and how do I put that into my sparring? How do I use that in my sparring? Progressive indirect attack has everything to do with being very, very visual and very using your basic instincts, okay? What does progressive indirect attack mean? It means that I'm going to get somebody to do something so that it creates an opening for me, okay? That's really what it comes down to. And one of the things that he noticed when he was growing up was nobody ever really taught him how to move in and be the one that engages the attack. Or maybe you engage once, you clash, you break apart, and then you have to come back in. Well, how do I get back in from a distance? How do I create an opening where I can go? Because what was happening back in the day was everybody was blocking and striking. You know, there wasn't a lot of higher level of combat going on. So he was starting to figure out, how do I get past this whole blocking and striking, and whoever's faster, stronger, whoever hits the most wins? How do I get outside of that and be able to be more of an effective fighter? Because that's what really Jeet Kune is really all about. Jeet Kune is about progressing in live motion, progressing in sparring, fighting, battle games, battle testing. That's what Jeet Kune is. It's not a style or a system. It is a set of principles, philosophies, concepts, and theories that help you in live motion. Okay, your Jun Fan is your base material, your curriculum, all that stuff that he discovered throughout. That curriculum kept changing all the way till his death. It was constantly evolving and constantly changing. And so that's the thing that you need to understand is that, because that part of it in some people's JKD world is not the truth. And the truth always is in sparring. The truth is always in live motion and combat and fighting. It's not in the technique, you know. That all is part of the foundation and the fundamentals to help you get to that point so you're able to do it in live motion. But the thing that you really need to understand is that you have to be constantly evolving and progressing, and that has to take place in live motion. I can't stress that enough, okay? If you're not sparring, you're not doing JKD. And I don't care what anybody says, that is the truth, okay? Because what is the reason why you're doing martial arts? You're doing it so that you can defend yourself in a very violent altercation. That is what martial arts is all about. It's also about developing the mind, body, and spirit as one, okay? And being able to have self-control and grow as a human being. That's what also martial arts is all about, okay? And so those are the things that I think are so important. Accountability is key to all of this, okay? And so sparring is where accountability counts. And that's where you know Am I doing good dealing with this type of an attack or that kind of an attack? Where am I strong in and where am I weak in? And you have to take that time and write down the things or document in whatever way you want to document the things that you need to work on and the things that you're doing good on and how can I improve? That's what it's all about, okay? You can fight and argue all day long about what JKD is and what JKD is not. But what I'm going to tell you today is it's what happens on the mats when you and another person contest each other's combat. That's what it's really all about, okay? And those people that want to continue to argue about the other stuff, you're just wasting your time and you're just making excuses for the truth that it all happens in live motion. So when we're talking about bridging the gap and we're talking about PIA or progressive indirect attack, how am I going to deal with this person? How am I going to get in and create an opening or find an opening to attack? A couple videos back, we talked about identifying openings. That's a big part of it. The other part is that I have to have the instincts to respond to him, okay? I have to have the instincts to, when he does something, I have to know where that opening is. I have to have the instincts and the know-how to, when somebody does something, okay, how do I get them to respond and react to me in a certain way that it creates an opening? And I have to know where that opening is going to be, okay, before that opening closes off. That's a big one. That's a real big one, okay? You have to know where the opening is going to happen before it does. So if I'm standing with him, okay, and you're just gonna react to me, okay? If I go like this, guess what? I know he's open here and he's open here. If I go like this, I know he's open here and I know he's open in the center here, okay? If I do a straight, I know where he's gonna be open and he's gonna be open here. So every time I do something, I'm gonna do it. Progressive indirect attack can be even a little bit more advanced than that. I can do 2 things or 3 things or 4 things or 5 things. Let's start off with 2 things, okay? If I go like this, and then I go like that, and then I wait for him to drop his arm down, I can come up and I can hit him up high, see? If I go high and he responds to that, okay, and I go low and he's quick to it, and I go back up high and he's quick enough to get that, then I come down low, okay? And I use my instincts. I use my timing. Timing is key here, okay? What do I mean by that? Okay, you have time signature. We have whole beats. We have half beats. We have quarter beats. Okay, we have 16th beats. Okay, we have all those different things inside of that. So for instance, when I go here and he responds to that, if I can make that happen in a quarter, okay, it starts off with a half beat. So if I'm going like this, 1, 2, 3, and I come here, that's a half, see? If I go here like this, and that's a quarter, see? And then the 16th's like that, you see that? And it's even closer, and it's got to do with time signature, okay? So I may be losing some of you, and I understand that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get timing, learning line memorization, and being able to get your movements all together. And be able to see how they respond. So when I'm in my fighting position, okay, Panantukan, level 1. This program is one of the most streamlined. It's over 8.5 hours long. It gives you everything step by step, everything that you need. Fundamentals breakdown of all the exercises you need. Understanding of empty hand, how to use fight without gloves, with gloves. It's going to teach you all the aspects that you need about the foundation and fundamentals of Panantukan, okay? Unlike what we see a lot of times now in the combatives in the Filipino martial arts world, a lot of techniques, a lot of drills, but how do you make those drills go from the drill to actual real combatives. And that's what this program, this is the first level to that, and getting you set up, learning all the aspects of how do I engage, what's the techniques, what do I need to practice to get myself where I'm able to be adaptable in combat. Okay, that's the most important thing. That's what everybody's looking for. How do I get better? How am I able to adapt when somebody attacks me? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? What I'm going to do is I'm giving you a different perspective on Panantukan, unlike what you see in this modern day where you see a lot of drills and exercises that just don't translate to real combat. I call the meat and potatoes of combat. Not the fluff, not all the extra stuff, but only simply the things that you really need that are going to help you be effective in combat. But the most important thing in combat is to survive. The most important thing is to be able to adapt, okay? And so that's what this program is all about. This is going to help you go to that next level. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you've been doing this for 10 years. I'm going to help fill in those gaps, fill in those holes that you've never learned before. And I go and I really strike low and I'm going to hit him here. And I go, oh. Okay. What was that? Do you think that was a quarter beat or a 16th beat? What do you think that was? 16th. Okay. Quarter would have just been a little bit slower. And then a half beat would have been even a little slower. And then obviously further down than that. Okay. So I'm trying to help you understand this. It's got to do with the way that you move and the timing that you have. Okay. So progressive indirect attack, bridging the gap. Okay. I may go like this just to get him, see how his knee went back. Naturally, it went back a little bit because he doesn't want to get hit. See? Boom. What happens when he goes like this? His head goes forward sometimes, or his leg goes back. If his legs go back, guess what that means? That means his balance is off. That means that his stance is no good, which means I can do a judo throw. I could do a foot sweep, okay? If his leg goes back, his head goes forward. That means that the opening's up high, okay? If he's a little bit better, he's a boxer, or, you know, he has some little more attributes. If I go like this and he responds to the first one, and I go up high and he responds to the second one, then I go to the center. Who knows, okay? But the idea of progressive indirect attack and bridging the gap is that I'm trying to get a response out of him. I need to know what that response is going to be so that I know where the opening is going to be. If I'm standing like this and I throw this hook like that, okay, I'm going like this, I know I can go here. And look, he can put that block up there, and then that straight one can come in here. Because the more punches we do, eventually you're going to get one in. Okay, that's the other aspect of this. Okay, and then there's what we call fakes. We can also do fakes. So if I'm here like this and I fake like this and I start to make him feel like that and I start to fake and I go boom and I go low on him. See that? Okay. Maybe I fake like this and I throw a groin shot. You see? Maybe I fake here and then I come in with this one. And that hand may be up. And that's the whole point. Is the better I talked about this a couple videos ago. The better your guard up, the more high. Guess what? Those fakes come in. You're able to deal with that. Problem is, a lot of people, they have their hands down here. And if their hands are down here, guess what? Your head movement is the only way you're going to get out of it. Okay? And guess what? Your head's not going to be that fast. I don't care what anybody says. Your head movement's not going to be fast enough. Okay? It's better to have, you know, your hands up higher. Your hands are able to shoot off from a higher position because your hands are slower going up. I'm not saying you should be blocking all your punches because you shouldn't be. You should be moving your body first, always. Okay? But we have to put all these things into play. So basic progressive indirect attack, okay, is I go high and then I go low. Okay? If they deal with that, you know, then you're going to mix it up. Every single time you're going to mix it up because you have to. If I go low, I go high. See that? Okay? And your speed and timing and everything has to play with that. Okay, I go here, here, and here. I'm going to get one in. See that? I may go like this, and then that right there was progressive indirect attack. I made him think about that uppercut, okay? And I came in here on that one, and he didn't see it until the last minute. It wouldn't matter, okay? That's what I'm trying to explain, all right? I go like this, and then I gotta see where it's at, okay? So when you're with your partner is trying to deal with the attacks. You don't even need to hit them. You don't even have to hit them. You just got to get them to respond. And what's happening is I'm just going like this, and I got to feel where that position is. See that? Okay? See? See? Okay? And that's where it's happening. See? Okay? Just like that. Okay? So that's progressive indirect attack. I need to make sure that I'm okay too, because guess what? He's gonna be throwing punches at you too. Okay? So it goes both ways. Okay? So the first evolution should be they stand there and they try to deal with it, and you're practicing moving in and doing it. The second way is you really try to get those spots. Okay? Then they do it to you. Okay? And you're practicing dealing with the attacks and keeping your hands up, keeping a good structure, keeping a good guard. Okay? Then the second progression would be then they start to do the attack too. They're gonna, they're coming here like this, but they could throw a punch too. See? Okay. All right. And then you have to deal with that as well. Okay. And you can have them just do one or two inside of a little clash or not. Okay. And then it just builds up. The whole point is it's kind of like slap boxing, right? Okay. And this is part of the concept of learning how to feint, learning how to do fakes, learning how to feel. But the idea is that you've got to pay attention to the way your opponent responds. You can speed up your movements and you can slow down your movements. Okay? So in other words, I can go like this. Okay? I can kind of go like this and do this, and I go like that. And what I did was I slowed this down, and that came in fast. I could go fast and get slow. I go fast, slow, fast, and break up movement. And see, the more you break up, this is what in Bruce Lee's Tao of Jeet Kune Do, he was talking about breaking cadence, changing timing. The timing is not just with your hands, starts with your footwork, it's your body, it's your kicks, it's your punches, it's your body movement, how you move your body, how you change the rhythm. All that plays into your skill in developing the progressive indirect attack and bridging and identifying and creating openings. Okay, so I hope this helped. I'll see you guys next. Go to our website, pinnaclecombatarts.com. There you can find out more about what I do and the classes that I provide. Thank you guys so much for your support, and have a great day.